Hello, this is Dan's show on the tube, and we're going to do the TNA Final Resolution Results for Friday, December 13th, 2024. The first match was Kushida versus Moose for the TNA X Division title. Moose won with a flipping spear. Next up, First Class cut a promo on the main event against Nick Nemeth. Not great. Next up, the Rascals went against PCO and Sami Callihan, and that was versus Jake something. Hammerstone was supposed to be his partner, but Hammerstone was injured. The Rascals won with a double stomp into a jackknife cover. Afterwards, the arena went dark, and the screen popped up with the 23 again and just kept saying it was only a number. Next up was Ace Austin versus Trent Seven. This is the first match I've ever seen Trent Seven in that I really wanted him to lose, and he lost to the 1-2 sweep. There was a lot of references to Chris Bay in the video, and I really think if you can afford to, putting some money into Chris Bay's GoFundMe is a good charity right now. He deserves what help he can get until he can get back on his feet and provide for his family again. Next up, they showed Frankie Kazarian beat Jonathan Gresham by submission on the pre-show. Kazarian was backstage claiming that he's going to be the TNA World Champion next year. He's got the call your shot, so he gets a title match whenever he wants it, and he's thinking he's going to win. I don't see it happening. Next up was Jordynne Grace versus Rosemary. Jordynne Grace hit a muscle buster on Rosemary and probably was going to win. And at the last moment, somebody drug Jordynne Grace out from under the ring and beat her up. And it was Tessa Blanchard. So Tessa Blanchard's back in TNA. Eric Young come out for commentary for the next match. Next up was the Fatal 4-Way match with Mike Santana versus Josh Alexander versus Steve Macklin versus Joe Hendry, and it was for the #1 contender for the TNA World Heavyweight title. Joe Hendry won with the standing ovation. He pinned Josh Alexander. That was exactly the way I thought that match should go. I think Joe Hendry is potentially in a couple of years a WWE World Champion and definitely going to be a TNA champion. Next up, a video played for the GoFundMe for Chris Bay. Again, that's a charity I definitely believe in, and I think people should help. Next up, Nick Nemeth cut a promo. He spoke about AJ Francis, Joe Hendry, and Frankie Kazarian, and the fact that all three of them are now gunning for his title. Next up was Masa Slamovich versus Tasha Steele for the TNA Knockouts title. Before the match started, Santino come out and made Alicia Edwards leave the building, and brought out extra security so the system couldn't interfere. Masa Slamovich ended up winning the match with a pile driver on the outside the ring since it was a Falls Count Anywhere match. The next match was the Hardys versus the System for the TNA tag titles. In a tables match, the match ended with Jeff Hardy swanton bombing Jeff swanton bombed off the second level of the building to win the tables match. The final match of the night was Nick Nemeth versus AJ Francis. Casey Navarro was removed from ringside during the match because he had threw Nick Nemeth's foot off the ropes when the referee had seen Nemeth's foot on the ropes and threw him out so that he couldn't interfere and cost Nick Nemeth the match. Well, after the match was over, Casey Navarro attacked Nick Nemeth and AJ Francis got up to help, and then Joe Hendry come out and cleared the ring. And the show ended with Joe Hendry and Nick Nemeth both holding on to the title, and then Nick Nemeth did eventually fight it away from Joe Hendry and held it up above his head, staring Joe Hendry down, and that was the end of the show. I don't often root for Nick Nemeth to lose, but I want to see Joe Hendry beat him. That's the end of that was the end of the TNA review. Like, share, and subscribe the video, and also, if you could, I'm doing a survey on what match you want to see for the watch along on Monday night. It'll be either the 1992 Royal Rumble, the Iron Man match between Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart from WrestleMania 12, or it will be the WrestleMania 3 main event, which was Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant. If you could, in the comments below, let me know what you'd like to see. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a good day. Bye.